Hey everyone, Dan at Ochiko Bushcraft. Well, it's getting dark. This is my first night on my bug out, and I'm getting ready to start my fire. I wanted to give you a rundown on a couple pieces of gear that I'm using. I told you about this little table I got. Just picked it up at Bi-Mart earlier today. Timber Ridge is the brand. It's aluminum, comes in a zippered carrying case, and basically just unfolds, and I like it. It's just the right size for me. I didn't do anything elaborate for dinner tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to break out some of these Mountain House meals and do some cooking and get a tripod built. I'll show you everything here in a minute. So I showed you the little radio earlier. So bug out situation. I'm listening to the news, staying aware of what's going on around me and when I can go home. Got my water sitting here, my gloves, getting ready to start that fire. Gonna do some trail mix before I go to bed, help me warm up. My favorite headlamp I want to show you for staying out here overnight, guys. This is Coast, and I will put the model number in the description because I'm probably going to get it wrong if I just try and quote, because there's so many different models. So in the description I will put the model number, but the brand is Coast, which is made here in Oregon, and I really like this, the way it's set up. So this one is pretty bright. It's I want to say around 700 or 800 lumens, and it's got dim, bright, and medium, and then it's got this broad focus so you can make it really wide or really narrow. But what I like about it, no flipping through the switches. I just go to the other side. I've got my red light if I want to maintain night vision, and green so that I can track out here at night. So red and green on this side, 3 levels of white on this side, very bright. Again, they're on Amazon, that's where I get them. So I'll put the model number, and then you guys can go on and read the full description. I have no access to the internet out here. I can pick up AM, FM, and weather bands, so I know what's going on in the world and when it's safe to go back home. But I have absolutely no access to the internet at my location or to the phone. There's no phone out here either, so I can't go online and look anything up. But let me give you guys a quick look around, and then we'll start fire. Again, Bi-Mart Timber Ridge, about 30 bucks, aluminum folding table. I like it. This is going to be my dinner table tomorrow. Okay, so big old dead fir tree right behind me, so no problem in getting kindling to get the fire started. I laid in a good pile of firewood. I sawed off some big pieces of fat wood. They're down at the bottom, so I can put them on later because they'll burn for a couple hours. And I'm actually going to just pick up more stuff around me to start with, and I'm not even going to use any of my pile until I go to bed. I dug out my fire pit deeper, and I made it longer. So I intend on getting up throughout the night and throwing on some of the bigger stuff and trying to keep this fire going at least most of the night, at least until the gray of the morning. So we'll get that going here in a minute. My tent is all set up. Show you how that little vestibule works. On this side I've got one end open so that my pack is down underneath, and the other side I've got pulled back so I can get in and out the door easier. Pause you guys here. So go ahead and open that up, guys. Again, my pack's behind this vestibule here. I got the vestibule pulled out on the other side. You can see I got my sleeping bag all set up in there. Big heavyweight flannel sleeping bag, which is what I like. Lots of room. Lots of overhead room. I got that light hanging up here. I got my emergency flashlight right here. And it's gonna be a nice night. That sleeping bag, I've been in some crazy weather in that big heavy bag and stayed nice and warm. If it gets real cold, I'll close up this other side of the vestibule too. And I got an extra little wool blanket in here and some wool long johns. So I'm good. I'm good. One more piece of gear to show you guys, and then we'll go light this fire. So I told you about this water jug. This was another new piece of gear. First time I've had it out. I wanted something that blended in instead of the blue. So there's the brand name right there. I'll put it in the description, and it's on Amazon. It's got dual handles, which I like. And I am just keeping it on my tailgate, and I can refill this down at the creek, use my bottle to scoop up water and pour it in. But no leaking or dripping at all. And just so I have a hand washing station, I have a dishwashing station, and I've got a place to refill my water bottles, 6 gallons. As needed, I'll go down to the creek and refill it. But I'm really liking this thing, liking it a lot. All right, let's go start our fire. All right, as always, I got fat wood shavings down in there. Anyone who knows me knows I like my fat wood. And some dried moss and some lichen, some little limbs laid on top of 3 longer limbs. Some small stuff over here to put on. And I want to get this thing going and just relax in front of it for probably a good hour or more before I crawl in the tent, stoke it up good, and then see if it'll burn for the night. There we go. Got some small stuff here. Just feed that on there, a little at a time. Okay, that ought to get us going. All right, nice. As I said, guys, my firewood pile back there, I'm not even going to start on that until the first time I get up. I'm just going to add stuff that's laying on the ground around here. Everything's dried out enough to where it'll burn just fine. And then later on tonight, when I get up, throughout the night, 3 or 4 times, I'll throw some of that stuff on and just try to keep it burning all night. All right, guys. Got me some bigger stuff in there now that I've just been picking up and throwing in. Said I'm not going to break into that wood pile until well into the middle of the night. So I'm going to sit over here at my table have an evening snack, hydrate real good, and then after it's good and dark, stoke this up some and climb in and get my first couple hours of sleep. Everything's good, you know, and that's the thing, I guess. I'll adjust you guys just a second here. If you have camping gear and you have to evacuate, probably some of the best stuff that you could have to take with you, you know, propane stove, and some food stored up, even canned food would be great. Take a whole box of canned food, but just have stuff ready so that you can go. And I went through my gear in the first video, so you have an idea of what I have. I could stay out here for a long time, and there's wild turkey, deer, elk, fish in the stream. So if I need to start adding to my food supply, I could. Pine needle tea, of course. There's a few other wild edibles around that I know. But winding down on day number 1 of my 72-hour bug out. So if anything eventful happens during the night, if there's something in my camp and I hear it and I can catch it in the light, I'll try to get the camera on real quick so you guys can see. Otherwise, I think we'll just go ahead and I'll finish up my evening here and catch you guys in the morning at breakfast. It's going to be right around freezing tonight, so we'll get this thing stoked up in the morning and break out some Mountain House for breakfast. Dan at Ochiko Bushcraft. Thanks for watching, guys.